にちは、なつにゃんのメンタルルームへようこそ。はい、今回は特別編、とっても素敵なゲストをお招きしました。アメリカから来たお友達のハリーです。Hi Harry! Welcome to Japan!
I'm Hallie and I'm from California and I'm 19.
2人ともね、メンタルヘルスにすごく関心がありまして、今日はね、せっかくなので、日本とアメリカでメンタルヘルスっていうトピックに関することとか、精神科にかかることになんかこう意識の違いとかがねあるのかなっていうのをちょっと2人でね話してみようかなと思います。
Today we want to discuss about the topic mental health. Like, are there any differences between the U.S. and Japan?
Is that okay for you? Okay. Alright. まずね、夏美はね、日本でまだメンタルヘルスのね話題とかがちょっとこう煙たがられる傾向にあったりとか、精神科にねかかる敷居がまだ高い、みんな通いづらいっていう傾向にあるんじゃないかなっていうのをねちょっと問題視しています。
Harry, I think in Japan many people don't want to talk about their mental health problems, and many people don't want to go to mental clinics even if they have mental problems. Just my opinion though.
そうアメリカではどういう感じなのかなっていうのをちょっとねハリーに聞いてみたいなと思います。
So, what do you think? What is it like in the U.S.? How do American people think about mental health topics? Like, do you guys talk about it frequently or in everyday conversation? What do you think?
I think that in recent times it's become much more of an acceptable topic to talk about, and I feel like personally I have a good amount of support from the people around me, whether it's my parents or my friends or just anyone in my life, and I think it depends on where you're from, because there's so many cultures in America, so many different backgrounds, so not everyone is surrounded by people who they can be open with, but I think that overall, from what I know, it's much more of an acceptable topic to talk about, and there's a lot of resource online. A lot of people will talk about it online, so even if the people around you in person, you don't feel like you can talk to them, there are a lot of people that are pretty open online.
そうアメリカで精神科にかかるって普通のことなのか。なんか私はアメリカだとなんかもう精神科にかかるのは歯医者に行くようなもんだみたいなのを聞いたことあるんだけど、ちょっと聞いてみようかなと思います。Harry, do you think
it's normal to for American people to go to mental clinics? Like, is it like going to dental clinic?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like in more recent times it's become more normalized, and I think people of all ages are able to do that now. For example, I have a close family friend who is in her 80s, and we dropped her off at the clinic so she could talk to her doctor about medication and mental health. And I have friends that are my age or younger that have therapists or psychologists, doctors who help them, and they're medicated. And I also have a couple friends who have gone to like long-term clinics, like if they are really, really struggling with mental health and they actually need to be in like in-person care. Those clinics are also available, and like I said, I have a couple of friends who have done that, so I think it is definitely an option, and it's talked about, but there might be still a little bit of stigma about it. People might be ashamed to talk about it, but I think there are a lot of people who are medicated, go to the doctor.
So in Japan, going to mental clinics is a very special thing, and some people try to hide I think many Japanese people try to hide that they go to mental clinic. Even I sometimes hide that I have mental problems. I'm a bipolar, I have ADHD, I have panic attack. I sometimes try to hide, yeah, but I wish that the society would change, like people should be more open.
Right.
Like I want to be more open.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a secret.
Yeah. It's not an embarrassing thing,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Well, in America, like, I think, like I said, there is some sort of stigma, and since having mental health issues can be so inconvenient for people, many people might want to pretend that they don't have mental health problems, or they don't want to talk about them, and admit that that's happening for them. But I think there's a lot of people who are able to be open about that. All of my friends have talked to me about their own mental health issues, whether they're just feeling really anxious one day, or they do actually have to go to a long-term clinic, or they're trying a new medication, or they're going to a therapist. All of my friends in some way or another have talked about their mental health, and they're pretty open about it. It's a part of who they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they might not just tell everyone about it, but they also, I think, don't feel like it has to be as much of a secret. There's a lot of people that can relate to them, and it doesn't mean that they're crazy.
No.
It's
No.
a very natural thing.
Natural thing.
All of us have mental health, and all of us feel anxiety or sadness at one point.
Because we're human.
Right. We're not happy 100% of the time.
Yeah.
But I think in America it's becoming more okay to admit that. And I don't think, like, people are pretty open, like, oh, I have therapy today. They don't have to be like, oh, I have an appointment. I'm not going to tell you what, but they're very open, like, oh, I have therapy today. I think, like, or I'm medicated. I have ADHD, or I have friends. I have so many friends who have ADHD, or bipolar, or depression, anxiety.
Many people have ADHD, right?
A lot of people. Myself.
They confess. Yeah, me too.
I have ADHD. You have ADHD.
Yeah.
I think honestly, ADHD is more common than we realize.
Yeah.
And I think it's not like an abnormality.
It's not like a problem,
Yeah.
It's like a part of their personality,
Right.
Or part of
And the
us.
the only reason it's a problem is because society is built not in a way that favors people with ADHD. It's really hard for ADHD.
They have very negative image. Many
Right.
people have negative image.
And I think especially in Japan, you really like have to study so much.
Yes.
And for people with ADHD, it can be hard for me at least to motivate myself or focus. And
for me, actually,
is it the
I
opposite? You
focus too much. Yes.
Okay, yeah. And that's also the thing about ADHD, is that it comes in so many different ways.
Yeah,
like,
different ways.
It's either like the hyper focus, or your mind is so busy you can't focus. So it's like everyone has like a different way of thinking, and that's like people are, I think, starting to understand that more. That everyone's brain works differently, and it's okay to talk about it.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the part of our personality, part of us. Like, we don't have to be embarrassed.
Right. The only way to fix how, like, sometimes it negatively impacts me. The only way to help that is by talking about it.
Some people need medicine or counseling or talking to someone. It's not embarrassing to get advice or get meditation or
medication,
Yeah.
not
Or-
meditation,
and
sorry.
you can meditate too.
Meditation too, yes.
そうね、日本だとね、Sorry, I speak Japanese. 日本だと自分のその精神的なね問題のことを友達とか家族とかにね話すのがねあんまりできなかったりする人多いのかなって思って、私自身も10代の時になんか最近こう精神的におかしいなとかね、すごいね急に悲しくなったり不安になったりね、そういうこと多かったんですよ。精神的にどうかおかしいんじゃないかなとかすごい不安になった。でなんか病院に行った方がいいのかなとか友達にも親にもあんまり相談できなくて、そうなんか when I was a teenager I have many mental issues. I felt so depressed. I feel suddenly I feel so sad or mad. I feel so upset or I get panic and I didn't talk to anyone. I couldn't talk to my friends or teacher or even talk to my parents. I talked to my parents but they didn't believe me. They didn't try to listen to me.
Right.
And I was so sad. It was kind of traumatic for
Right.
me. Yeah. So like how was your teenage? Did you talk
Right.
to your parents or friends about your mental problems?
Yeah, I think around the end of elementary school was when I started feeling like more like deep feelings, like whether it's like sadness or anxiety. And I actually got a therapist when I was 11. I had like a mental breakdown and said some very troublesome things to my mom, like she was worried about me. And so I did get therapy and my mom was supporting me, and she didn't really know exactly how to help me, but she tried her best. And I've always felt my parents' support. My mom is a therapist, which sometimes is nice that I have someone who deeply understands mental health, but also sometimes it feels like I can't exactly talk to her because it feels like, I'm being overanalyzed. She's my mom and she's a therapist. So I don't love talking to my parents about my mental health, but it's becoming easier for me to do that as I feel like we're more equals as adults.
Yeah.
But I've also felt like I've had my friends' support throughout junior high school and high school. We started talking about mental health back in junior high. I distinctly remember the first conversation where we all were opening up about our own mental health and realizing like, oh, our experiences are similar. And just kind of realizing like that we are a human. And and
We're human beings. Yeah.
We have deep feelings and unique thoughts, and
It's so natural to have emotions.
yeah, it's very natural, and it's so important to be able to talk to other people and feel like you have that connection. And so I felt like a lot of support from my friends throughout my teenage years and still to this day, and a lot of them themselves struggle from mental health issues ranging from just everyday anxiety to bipolar disorder, like a broad range of them. So I can always like rely on my friends and they can rely on me for talking about mental health, and I'm really grateful for that. It would totally be so difficult to go through things without feeling like I can relate to other people. Yeah.
We can talk to friends like frankly because we're human beings. We're not like robot,
Robot, yeah.
It's so natural to have emotions. Sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're sad, sometimes we're mad. It's a natural thing.
Right.
It's unnatural not to have
Yeah.
emotions,
No.
right?
That would be that would not be fun.
It's like a horror movie,
Right.
Like
Yeah.
always like
If you
I don't like emotions.
Yeah, no,
like that.
that's-
No, that's
because
scary.
in order to like this might be cliche,
Yeah.
but in order to be happy you have to also experience sadness so that you can compare it to something and appreciate like, oh, right now I feel amazing. that's it's important to have a balance of both.
Yeah.
To genuinely feel everything life has to offer.
そうですね。はいなんだっけあそうだなんかハリーがすごいびっくりしたってその日本人ってあんまりそのやっぱりこうメンタルヘルス患ってるよっていうのあんまり言わない人が多いイメージあったけど夏にゃんはその自分が躁うつだってこととかね ADHD だってこととかオープンにしてたから驚いたって言ってたんだけど So Harry, you told me that Oh, I was surprised that you were so open with your mental health topics
right.
and yeah so you were very surprised like you have the image like that many Japanese people try to hide their mental health topics or so maybe I'm peculiar like in a good way in a good way for a Japanese girl maybe I'm still a minority I guess
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of us have a view that Japanese people are extremely kind and nice people, but sometimes in order to not disturb other people, they might not be completely honest if they're not having a good day or something. I think people are so considerate that sometimes they can't risk offending people by talking about something that's a little still stigmatized. And I just of course I don't know every Japanese person, so I can't generalize everyone, but I think that between America and Japan, America is learning to be able to talk about mental health more, but that's why your channel is so important, because you're creating more conversation about it.
Yes.
So. And I think that's good for both countries, honestly, because America still has a long way to go about it.
In America, it's more open to talk about mental health topic than Japan.
Yeah,
I think.
My friends are very open about going to therapy or being medicated. They don't hide if they're going to a therapy appointment or.
People should be more, casual and open. Yeah,
it's a good thing for sure, because it's validating as someone who struggles with mental health. Oh, you go through that too, and you seem like you have a perfect life. You seem like you're always happy, which is never the case.
No
matter
never.
No matter who you are.
What were we trying to say?
My view of Japan was that people aren't as open to talking about mental health.
Exactly.
Did we talk too much?
Is there anything else you want to?
I think just if you are going through mental health issues, don't be afraid to try to talk to your friends or try to talk to your family. And if that doesn't work, there are a lot of online resources, as well as mental hospitals or pursuing getting a therapist, and then maybe eventually medication, whatever looks best for you. But don't be afraid to try to work on your problems.
Not alone. You're not
right,
alone.
Not alone, because the only way they're gonna get better is if you address them. You can't just ignore them. So it might be scary, but there's a lot of resources, and it's worth it. So
そうハリーが今言ってくれたのもねそうなんだけどそのね精神的にねなんかしんどいなとかね何か問題があったらそれはなんか恥ずかしいことじゃなくて本当にこう一人で抱え込んでなんとかしようとする必要は本当になくてなんかねセラピストとか医療関係者までいかなくてもなんかね身近な人に話すのもいいし今だったらオンラインとかでそういうねリソースがあるから相談窓口とかもたくさんあるからもう頼れるものには頼ってほしい一人で抱え込まないでほしいなって夏にゃんもねハリーもね思いますねYou're not alone right? Yeah? Just ねそうだからねそう私たちも ADHD とか、we have
Yes.
ADHD and we have many problems, but we are living happy.
Right, and yeah, it's so nice to be able to talk about it together.
Yes.
Yeah, find someone who can understand what you're going through.
So thank you for talking about yourself or telling me about the mental health topic in America. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, it's been really nice to have a friend here in Japan who I can rely on. So yeah.
あなたは一人じゃないから You're not alone. So 誰かにね相談したりねしていいんだよっていう。Talk to someone.
Yeah, right. So, are we done? Yeah, okay.
じゃあまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。バイチャー Thank you for watching. See you.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Natsume.